I'm a pretty average Destiny player, by no means God's gift to gaming, but I've gotten pretty good at going flawless, so I'm going to show you how I do it. If you're going to take anything away from this video, I want it to be this. The 3 most important things to going flawless: provide value to your team, run a loadout that makes sense, and maximize your unfair advantages. So first up, I'm going to talk about value. Value is anything you can do to contribute to winning a round of trials. I'm essentially going to break it up into 3 different parts, and those are kills, positioning, and tempo. Kills, I'm not going to overcomplicate. It's just what it sounds like. Get kills however you can. Hold reses. Do not let the enemy team res if you can avoid it. And I'm going to say there's one caveat here. You cannot die. Do not do anything that would cause a trade if you can avoid it. Anything where you run in, you get 1 kill, and then die is generally, I would consider it to be a bad deal, so try to avoid that. Positioning is a little bit more complicated. I'm going to use this graphic to explain it. This weekend's trials map is multiplex. I'm not using multiplex because multiplex is a very atypical map. Instead, I'm going to be using Javelin 4. So the point is right here in the middle of the map. This is a pretty typical trials map where one spawn is far on one side, the other spawn's far on the other side, and the point's in the middle in a rather complex area. So there's 3 ways essentially to push the point from either side. On a typical trials round, let's say blue team pushes up, they play 1 person here, 1 person here, and a 3rd person over here. Red team pushes up and they play 1 person here, and then 2 people on this angle. So you're in this pretty stagnant 3v1, 3v3 little shootout, and it's entirely your job to be the difference maker. Now let's say this is you. You're this guy playing up top. How do you win this round for your team? Well, you need to destabilize the enemy's position or gain tempo on them. So to mess with their position, I would go up here, and this red guy down here, he's either going to see you on his radar and he's going to come up to challenge, or he's going to stay where he is, right here, maybe wait with a shotgun. Either way, you've effectively removed him from the fight. You might not even have to fight him if you just move up here. You put your teammates into a really good, advantageous position. If this red guy does choose to hide in this corner, you've completely removed him from the fight. He can't help his teammates anymore, and your teammates are in a pretty good spot where they could maybe start to push up along this wall, and if you hear the red guy start to shoot at your teammates, then you are free to go in for the kill. Obviously that's all hypothetical, but basically it's your job to destabilize the enemy's positioning. Anything you can do to get the enemy out of the position that they're holding is going to be big for your team, especially if you can do it without needing to get in a gunfight to do so. If you can just push up and the enemy realizes, oh, I can't hold this, and they fall back, that's essentially the best you can hope for. And the last way that you should be trying to provide value to your team is by generating tempo. Now, I'm sure you've been in a gunfight before and you get the guy to 1 HP and he just barely gets behind the wall in time and you're not able to finish the kill. That's alright, because you just generated a whole bunch of tempo. And for the time that it takes him to recover to get back to full HP, you're essentially in a 3v2 now. You and your 2 teammates are against the other 2 teammates, and this guy is sitting the fight out for now. So it's worth a lot, and you can use this time to take space. Maybe you get a frag because you're able to team shot a little better with your teammates, even if you don't get the kill. Next, I'm going to talk a little bit about weapons, mods, and stats. If you're somebody who is pretty experienced, you probably know most of the stuff I'm going to be talking about, so feel free to skip ahead to the timestamp on screen. There's a lot that goes into choosing a trials loadout. I'm going to start with weapons. This weekend's trials map is multiplex, so think about it. What ranges are you going to need on the map? Play the map a little bit, feel it out, see what ranges you're engaging at the most, and then pick weapons around that. Usually I don't run double primary, but on this map I felt it was necessary. The Jade Rabbit covers my super long ranges, and it's super consistent. And then same thing with Shiurus, but it covers my close to medium range. Honestly, you can make loads of different loadouts work on this map just fine. But this is what was working for me, because it allowed me to be effective at the most ranges and cover my team. Mods are also really important. I see loads of players that don't have targeting mods, dexterity mods, or unflinching mods for their equipped weapons, or like they're running like loaders, they're running resistances, all sorts of weird stuff. I'm assuming it's just PvE players that don't know what they're doing, but make sure you always have these on. Recuperation on the boots, this is big. This has clutched me so many rounds. Picking up an orb from Reaper or a melee kill or whatever the case may be regens you a bunch of HP with this, and this is huge. So make sure you're running recuperation as well as Reaper. Reaper's huge. These two go together. Reaper, you use your class ability and your next weapon final blow spawns an orb of power. You pick up the orb of power, you heal. It's a great way to turn your HP around when you're in a tight spot. Now for stats, I'm just going to go top down, try to give a brief explanation of what each one does and why you should or should not have stats allocated into that stat. Mobility, the description is increases your movement speed and maximum jump height. It does increase your maximum jump height of your base jump. That's not the powered jump. And movement speed is, it only determines your strafing movement speed, like if you were ADS'd. It does not affect your sprint speed at all. The only thing that can alter your sprint speed is wearing a movement exotic. There's been a lot of discourse on what resil is the best for PvP, and I would say currently there are 3 acceptable answers. 20 if you need the stats somewhere else. Don't go below 20. Below 20 you're going to be dying in one less bullet to a lot of different stuff. So yeah, you can go down to 20 if you're a hunter who needs mobility for your dodge, or a warlock who really wants jump height, something like that. Feel free to go down to 20. Next is 60. 60 is the best resil for most players. This is going to make you basically as hard as you can be to kill. It will take the most shots for like a variety of different weapon archetypes to kill you here, that you would die faster if you were 50 resil. Next acceptable resil would be 100, especially if you're a Titan. This is generally a good idea. You want your barricades as fast as you can. Obviously you're going to go with resil. Recovery is basically the most important stat. You get shot, this makes you heal faster. It gives you tempo for just having the stat at 100. It's always worth it to have 100 recovery, pretty much no matter what. With the build I'm currently running, I need as many grenades as possible. I'm totally spamming them, so 100 discipline is obviously a must. And 95 intellect, plus I run Well of Radiance. I'm usually the first to get my super in a majority of games, as long as somebody isn't fragging out like crazy. I'm not dependent on my melee at all, so I completely dumped the stat. There's a lot of unfair stuff that you can do in Destiny PvP. Currently, the Speaker's Sight Helm is absolutely broken. The Hunter kit is ridiculously strong. The Titan combo of Shiver Strike into making a Diamond Lance, and then you freeze the next person, is a ridiculous combo that can pretty easily lead to team wipes that take only a couple of seconds. Basically what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of cheese in the game. Make sure that you're taking advantage of it as much as you can, because this isn't an honorable thing. We're trying to go flawless here, no matter what it takes. So at this point you should be able to go flawless pretty much with your hands behind your back. That's about all for this video. Thanks. If I had 40 people in front of you, I'd be like, damn, I got an audience. That's crazy.
Wait, I'm on the game. Wait.
We just started.
You just said you have to go eat a couple of pizzas or something.
He fried me, bro.